Okay, I can clearly see that there is a crew of women playing various instruments. But what are we doing? This is a Sunday morning. And what are we actually doing seeing this video?
If I knew what we were doing, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have brought people over here this time.
That is
so
great.
it's all about doing things that we should not know. Okay, we should not do all these things that we know. That's very bookish. So we just do random things. Just like how I met you and then pulled you in. That's a
True.
It's a random fact. We knew each other for half an hour and invited you for a live show. You came and then you did the last show. This definitely, like we discussed, this is the continuation of the previous show for sure. And let's see how we get connected. It is obviously International Women's Day, for example, right? That's one of the reasons. The way I would put it is, I like women. I am not looking for any reciprocation over there. Liking is not a problem at all. So there is some substance to the International Women's Day. Coming back to your key question, this is not a concert, as we can see from the setting. This happened in a marriage that I attended recently.
Okay.
Second point, this is not a troupe.
Okay.
Okay. The individual players are women, yes, great. The flute player got sick, so that one alone, there was an accommodation made. Someone went and selected in a sense, they made an effort to find female artists who would play all these things, which are generally reserved for men, we would say, right?
True.
And then assembled a troupe for their daughter's marriage.
Oh,
That's the kind of friends I have.
that is so thoughtful.
Yeah, I'm inviting you into that bandwagon. It's up to you to join. Hopefully stays away at a distance. That's okay. We'll deal with it, right? So it's very thoughtful for their daughter's marriage. They wanted this and they got this done. And it's a lot of work. These people live in different places of the country or South India, right? It was obviously not for International Women's Day. They wanted to do something different, right? And yeah, you can make a connection to Women's Day. There are women, yeah.
Yes.
Forward. That's not how I think. Otherwise, we won't be doing the show. It's fairly straightforward. What we are going to talk about is 50 Shades of Feminine. Okay, that's what I talk about. Forget the 50. Numbers don't matter, like we discussed the last time. Shades and feminine both are real concepts, and that's what we are going to discuss today.
Okay, that is fascinating. But why is it 50 Shades of Feminine, and why women needs to be celebrated, actually?
Fantastic question. I don't think we're celebrating women at all. I just like them, but I'm not celebrating them. It's the key pointer. I would go one level above and then say this worshipping part. I think a lot of people say that it's not working, right? So let's not go there. I'll narrate an incident from my life, which probably happened, lived long time back. It happened. Me and my colleague, we were in a restaurant in Manhattan, and we were discussing things. It was during the financial crisis when you were a little child, and so you don't have to be bothered about that. We didn't know. Just to let you know, 2 companies I worked for went down. Okay, so I have that reputation. 2 massive financial institutions went down, and me and my colleague were sitting there and discussing that stuff. And and we thought it's just boring finance stuff. Share something else. And my colleague Mitch was sharing his life experiences. I don't want to go beyond what he was sharing, and I'll tell you why. And we were discussing, just having a drink and discussion, and I saw 2 women exiting the restaurant, right? They were just going out. Manhattan, small restaurants, they were going out and they were passing by our table. So I thought they will go out. They stopped at our table, okay? And then what happened is the most interesting part. So my colleague, 1 Caucasian man, 2 Caucasian women, I'm the brownie over there, and then one of the women looks at me and then said, "Sir, I can see you are a gentleman." And she should have stopped there. I was thrilled. But this thing sitting in front of you is just trash. I hope you don't talk to this person and I won't be friends with them. And then they walked out, right? They walked out. Obviously, I think they overheard something we were talking, so I cannot disclose what we were talking. And they absolutely did not like that aspect at all. But that is what I'm trying to say, that feminine will express itself in multiple ways. You look at the instruments, there are different types of instruments. Some of them, each one of them probably is considered harder for a specific reason. Some are these, you have to hold the air and then do it. Others are heavy and you got to beat them heavily. But they are doing it, right? So I already have shown you about 10 shades, and we will cover more. That's where I'm coming from. The shades of feminine. We are probably not talking about women. We are talking about feminine and the spectrum of feminine.
Oh, that is nice. But after seeing the video, I thought the heading should have been Rhythms of Feminine. Why is it like 50 Shades of Grey? Oh my God, sorry. 50 Shades of Feminine.
So if it's Rhythms of Feminine, I won't be doing the show, right? And you won't be there. You won't be interested in that. You have to get interested. Another story. So we all know the book. We all know the book, 50 Shades of Grey. And then I'll again go back in time. And this book gets released. It's a 3-volume book. And then it's getting popular. And then all the magazines like New York Times, everyone is talking about. And the only thing that I could read was, it is some hard-hitting, very low-level adult content. If it is that, why are you talking about it? There's plenty of material available like that in the world, all over the world. And why are you talking about it? Because the book is selling like a hotcake. And the primary consumers were women. I couldn't understand it. Like, what the reviews are saying this, and women wouldn't like that content. Why they are? So I ignored. I went with the reviews and I said, "Oh, some low-level content," and then it reached 50 million copies. It's 5 crore, right? I have to look at it and then say, like, 50 million people bought it. There has to be something in it. And I bought the book, and I'm a fast reader. I read the whole thing in a weekend. And I would claim, because I like women, I understand why women are reading that book. Simply put, my assessment of it and why so many, it sold 150 million copies. That's 15 crores. That's a lot. It was a hot seller for quite a considerable time, right? The plot line has a very simple, like a Tamil movie, a boy loves girl of the 80s and before era. Just, you are the only thing that matters to me, being reciprocated. I have a feeling that that's why they liked it. You leave the other parts aside, you can ignore, and people probably saw that. That's one more shade we add there. That's why 50 Shades of Feminine.
That is nice. So, if you're telling like this, I could sense that femininity is not just a single note, but it is an entire symphony. Also, it has a lot of shades to it. Come on, Sena. You've started your this entire this journey with your absolutism theory, somehow getting Einstein into it.
Yeah.
And then
I'll get Einstein into this also. I like him.
Okay.
In addition to women, I like Einstein as well. So,
okay, we are going somewhere else. Okay, then you then introduced Ram and Janu into this out of nowhere. I don't get, but somewhere the concept is so similar. And now you again started this 50 Shades of Feminine. What are you planning to do? What are you doing?
Like my friend Mitch, I am planning to do a lot of stuff. We cannot discuss all that over here. But we are the day we picked and the day we decided to do a live show is very clear. We are doing it on International Women's Day. There's no second guessing about that. But going back to your question, what exactly are we celebrating? To maintain balance, there is an International Men's Day as well now. There's no doubt about that, and it should be there. I think I don't have complaints, but both are 50% of the human population.
Yes.
Right? If that's all there is, what is there to have a day and celebrate? Which is where my idea is we are looking at a concept called feminine rather than a person called female.
Okay.
And I would claim that's what I'm celebrating, and I'm going to teach you why you should celebrate that as well. I'll briefly talk about what I mean by that, right? The key characteristics I noticed in my life is feminine is not bound by rules. It's not a rule book based thing. And if you want an example, the two people here themselves are examples.
True.
Right? I decided to go and start these things all by own without any viewers. I didn't care about that. And then I knew you for half an hour after that judging competition. Then I asked you, would you do it? Yeah, I'll do it. Right? Let me see what is there. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Otherwise, this will have a huge project plan, and then there'll be planning sessions. Blah 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 blah. It doesn't work for me. Right? Like Janu. There has to be John has to come everywhere, right? We're introducing more characters. We'll talk about that later, right? There has to be that free flow, and what I mean by that is, again, from my observation, the feminine will set boundaries and will constantly look for people who cross the boundary. Okay, will set the rules. And then say, I want to see how you break the rules, not just jumping up and down breaking the rules. And that complexity bothers people, in my opinion. Okay? They are not able to deal with it. And what do? They come up with even more rules and the whole suppression, which is where we can see why there is something called International Women's Day has to come in play and then do all that stuff. Instead, if people understood that is feminine and that is nature, I don't know if we would have an International Women's Day and Men's Day and all that stuff. Okay, that's where I'm coming from.
Maybe we would require an International Feminine Day or Masculine Day.
Every day is a feminine day is what I'm saying.
Okay.
There's no, every second is a feminine second.
So, what do you think? Like, is femininity is only for female, or is it also for male or any other gender?
So first of all, I think we have to accept there are people called male and female.
Okay.
We are going bonkers saying that there is no one called a male or a female. I don't buy that at all. It's clearly visible. It's there in front of you. And sort of some sort of sign people call male and female, they exist. What I would agree is there are some basic characteristics for those male and female, societal conditioning and all that stuff. Yeah, it is there. I don't deny that. But there are people who don't fit into that pattern. Yeah, I grant that. That is not the issue over here, right? To accommodate people who don't belong to that strong classification, you don't go and start claiming that there is no male or female. Those that sort of kind of ideas, I think, create a lot of problem. Rather, if people embraced the femininity, it would have worked much better, and we wouldn't have gotten to a situation where I believe the International Men's Day is also important. Probably doesn't get that much importance, but International Women's Day, what importance do we get? We just go It's like another Diwali, right?
Yes.
It's not doing anything much. The ground reality doesn't really change, right? So I would put it this way: feminine is the overarching architecture over there. It's a broader spectrum. What we call masculine is a subset of it, and there is a scientific angle to that as well. But very independent, very, very independent. A true masculine would know how to embrace a feminine. I don't think it will have a problem. It's the non-true masculine parts which probably sits there and develops precision-guided missiles and all that stuff. That's sort of the problem. We don't need those missiles, but they are there, right? So you embrace that femininity, as we call it, a tough word. I don't think there would be any problems in that space, right? It's because it is complex. We go and say, either you set the boundary or don't set the boundary. No. I can tell you from my experience, feminine does not work that way at all. Since we are not able to deal with it, we just come up with all these concepts.
Okay. Nice, actually. I've always been curious about if these concepts, feminine or masculine, are they naturally induced or is it something man-made? Humans created their own. As usual, they would have added some points, but is it started something as man-made?
Environmental conditioning, that is always there. So there is, we call it man-made, not woman-made. Okay, I'm going to go back to. I'll have to give you more examples. My favorite stand-up comedian George Carlin, and I'm going to repeat in a milder way what he said. He doesn't like religion, so he does a show on religion, and then he goes and says, I keep referring to God as He always. There is a reason behind it. By looking at the results, no woman would ever could or would screw up in this way. So it has to be a man, right?
That is really nice.
Yeah, right. That's his view, right? So man-made construct. It probably is man-made construct. Okay, probably is man-made construct, and we have to probably investigate why men went and made those things also. My very simplistic understanding of that would be that complexity was difficult to deal with. Not for everyone, for some. For people, those who like women, it was not a problem. For others, it became a problem, right? So that's where it probably started. So in my opinion, there are definitely male and female characters that exist. And you can make how many other arguments you want that doesn't exist from the body language onwards. It does exist, and why go and deny that? And we seem to be liking it. I don't think anyone says they don't like it. It's for some kind of ideological purposes we are going and making those cases. But where there restrictions imposed on women, yeah, of course, that's also a fact. It is a fact, and we are trying to unwind it, which is where I'll go back to the 50 Shades. What all do we have now? We have sports car drivers, Air Force pilots, commercial pilots, prime ministers, presidents, prime ministers who take the country on war. We have a prime minister who successfully executed a war for our country, and she is very famous for that. So what more do you want? We have already proven that those restrictions are not required, but you don't go and deny the fact that there is a male and a female. We don't know how those people operate in their personal life. Not our problem.
Yes, that is true. Okay, by referring to shades, what are the characteristics you consider as the shades? Can you give a
We will go to the next video. How many shades did you see there? I'm going to throw the question back at you. What are the shades that you saw there?
I could sense the authority, like the leadership skills.
Yes.
Which she had. And I could sense a bit of admiration, like she admired him.
Like that.
Yes.
The movie stands on that 1 second, small smile.
Smile. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
There's so many other shades which I expect a lot more from you.
What else? Actually, she showed kindness,
Yes.
to be honest. She showed kindness, and what else?
Nurturing.
Nurturing.
Alcohol is okay, but not in my class.
Yes. Only my brain can process only that.
Okay. Protective. She won't go and complain to the principal about this incident, and then eventually in the movie the principal will come and ask as well, right? So it's what, a minute or two video, two people, and we saw so many shades out there in one person.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so with this my submission will be shades are the only things that are available. Black and white is all convenience. I don't want to be harsh, and I would go to quantum physics to prove that I'm right.
Why?
Okay, quantum physics is all about subatomic particles. Okay, 100 years back when Einstein has to come when they did research on the subatomic particles and go, I think, probably below the electron and all that stuff, the real, what we know as the really small subatomic particles. They figured out that those subatomic particles exist a wave behavior rather than a particle behavior. Okay, and then they theorized that they exhibit wave and particle behavior at the same time. Okay, and then there is quantum entanglement, which breaks the speed of light and all that stuff, right? So if something exhibits a wave behavior, and that's a subatomic particle, and if we are all made of those waves, then do we exist?
Oh my God.
Okay, so that's why I make my submission that shades are the only things that are there. Black and white is a temporary step. If you can go above the black and white, you will truly embrace the shades. You don't have to worship it. Embrace the shade. Life will be better. Maybe you will meet a mother teacher. You never know.
Yes, true. Okay, now coming to the word protection you used, like she protected them. We always term that men protect their family. Like, okay, it is a masculine characteristics. We always state it like that. Like mother care for the family and the father, he protects them.
Yeah.
Like how does that protection come into picture?
A good question, and that's where I will go to. That male or the father offering physical protection is the reality. You cannot brush that away from that. And two, let's say a young mother who has recently given birth has to go and fend for herself also.
Not possible.
Not possible, right? So maybe that's the final thought. When we are looking to correct something, we look at something happening and then think that's not optimal and we want to change it. Okay, running in the opposite direction is not the solution, and we as humans have perfected that model to go and say, I hate this, so the opposite of is true. That's not feminine at all, and I'll close my argument. Feminine doesn't do that.
Okay.
Feminine is a spectrum, and how do you figure out right and wrong? So shades and waves are the only things that are available.
Then it looks like it's way more similar with the previous interview which we did, where you said there is no theory or law for love.
Yeah, this
Premam.
one.
And you included Premam here. Yeah, that's very thoughtful.
I like women, I like Premam, I like 96. You can make whatever you want.
Okay. So we could expect a lot more of this kind of Premam stuffs in the future.
Why in the future? It should be in the past. The future is not that bright for me. For Vijisha, the future is bright. And I thought about it later. Oh my God, I got this young person on a Valentine's Day to sit with me and do an interview. Maybe she has other things to do. We did not know, we did not know. And she may be cursing us. That's okay.
Thankfully not. Okay.
Thankfully or not?
Anything? You are confusing me right now.
Yeah, that's the only job I have.
And you are doing that perfectly.
Perfectly well. I want to confuse the whole world. That's why we are doing this show.
But Sena, you are confusing the whole world. You brought quantum physics, and you brought the famous comedian. You brought the famous movie, and everything together. And you are giving a message. What exactly are you trying to say? Like, give us something to,
You need to pay me a lot of money. That's just not free. There's no free lunch, right? So if quantum physics is waves, we are all waves.
Okay.
Okay. நேற்று இல்லாத மாற்றம் வரும் காற்று உன் காதில் ஏதோ சொல்லும். Just have to sit there, wait, and listen to what the wind is saying.
Yes.
Embrace. Don't worship. Worship is a bad idea. Embrace. Then you will become part of it, part of the energy.
Then you'll be a part of Ram, which we saw in the previous interview.
I don't think we want to be Ram.
No.
Ram is no good.
No.
It's not good.
He worships.
Yeah, he worships. Bad idea.
Yes.
Be like Malar and Janu.
Yes.
We have to like.
So random.
So random.
Doing so random. Yes. So, yes.
Let's see if our friend has any questions for us.
Yes.
He's zapped. He's not preparing for exam, Srihari.
My questions have been answered.
I think,
Show finished.
yes. Then we've solved the puzzle.
You have solved the puzzle.